Post-Trauma markets itself as a survival horror game, but let's be honest, it's really a puzzle game wearing a horror mask. Post-Trauma had all the right ingredients to be a great indie horror experience: an older protagonist, a grim retro aesthetic, and that nostalgic fixed camera survival horror feel. But after finishing it, I honestly walked away disappointed. You play as Roman, an aging metro worker who wakes up in a twisted, decaying underground world. On paper, it sounds promising, a psychological journey through fear and regret, but once you start playing, it becomes clear that post-trauma leans way too hard on puzzle solving and completely forgets what makes survival horror engaging. The core gameplay loop revolves almost entirely around puzzles. And I don't mean the good kind that make you feel clever, I mean the kind that feels more like chores. You are constantly backtracking, finding keys, flipping switches, and deciphering vague clues with almost no context. Instead of tension or fear, it just creates frustration. There are barely any enemies or moments of danger. You spend most of your time wandering empty corridors trying to figure out what obscure logic the game wants you to follow. It's less Silent Hill and more escape room with bad lighting. The story doesn't help either. Roman's situation is never clearly explained, and the plot tries to be mysterious and symbolic but ends up feeling incoherent. There are hints about guilt and trauma, but nothing ever pays off in a satisfying way. It's the kind of writing that mistakes confusion for depth. Now, I will give credit where it's due. The visuals are striking, and the atmosphere nails that grainy PS2 era horror vibe. The lighting, camera angles, and environments are great at first glance, but when the story and gameplay don't hold up, all that atmosphere just feels like it's being wasted. Post-Trauma wants to be a love letter to classic survival horror, but it loses sight of what made those games memorable. There's no real tension, no payoff, and no emotional hook to keep you invested. If you are looking for a horror experience with depth, this one's more likely to test your patience than your nerves. So yeah, Post-Trauma had potential, but for me, it just didn't deliver. Let me know what you think. Did you enjoy it more than I did? Or were you just as confused as Roman wandering that damn metro?